man and now gone. How you really think this is gonna go?
I will kill every one of you. And then I'll pretty much wing it from there.
Hello everyone, my name is Don, the movie reviewer, and today we're going to be talking about Jennifer Garner and Peppermint. For myself, walking into this movie, I didn't know exactly how Jennifer Garner was going to deliver her performance. Jennifer Garner gives a strong, powerful performance in this movie as a woman who wants revenge for the death of a loved one. In order for an audience member to connect with Jennifer Garner's character in this movie, I would feel that you would have to have the connection that she has with her family feel realistic. You have to feel that emotion, and I felt that emotion in the movie, and there's a sequence in the movie that they show which is really heartbreaking, whereas there's another scene in this movie that shows the family together, and it's a very touching moment, it's a tender moment, so that when you see the tragedy take place, it is very heart-wrenching. But I wish they would have just put a little bit more dynamic and depth within the family aspect of this movie with Jennifer Garner and the husband and the daughter. I wish there were a couple of more scenes, and that's why I feel like this movie should have just been an emotional drama with sprinkles of violence in there. Like, the thing that pops into my head is a movie like The Brave One with Jodie Foster. Jodie Foster, The Brave One, plays it realistic and it plays it serious, and I like that movie because it takes its time to build the character and her circumstances and her relationship and why she wants revenge. Whereas in Peppermint, it kind of feels like two different worlds, where it's like, okay, are we going to go the emotional route and make it drama heavy with little bits of action in here, or you could have hardcore violence, but then it also kind of goes in that route of like really cheese and over the top, and it feels made for TV, and it's just kind of all over the place. So I really would have preferred the more realistic approach versus this TV approach, which they did kind of ante up on the realistic approach towards the end, whereas in certain parts at the beginning and the middle it felt like a TV movie. So it's just like, this is unbalanced, and I'm just confused of like, where's this director trying to take this? Is the director wanting to make this gritty and realistic, or cheesy and hardcore? Which one is it? There were a few scenes in this movie where I felt like I had to suspend my disbelief, but these were just minor things and they didn't affect my overall opinion of the movie. I would say that the editing in this movie is one of the most distracting things in here, because there's this screen effect that the editor uses, and it really annoyed me throughout the entire thing. It felt like a TV movie. There were certain sequences where it was used and it did feel effective and warranted, but then occasionally it would pop up and it just felt very jarring to me, and it felt like, okay, why is this screen effect here? This makes this feel like a low budget movie, and it feels like it's made for television. And it just constantly annoyed me every time it popped up on screen. I hated the effect, but in certain scenes it was used effectively. But they really shouldn't have used it in here. The director of this movie is a director who has made movies such as the first Taken movie, From Paris with Love, and my personal favorite, B-13. And watching this, it just feels uneven. Like at the very beginning, there's the opening scene, which feels like I'm watching Training Day, and it feels gritty and realistic. And then there are other scenes in this movie that feel like a TV show. So at the beginning, there was an unbalanced tone to this. I was like, are you going for gritty, raw, emotion, realistic stuff? Or are you going for some cheesy, hardcore action here? And I feel like it has a mixture of both, and it really should have just picked one or the other. I really enjoyed the realistic, gritty violence in this movie. I feel like it really picks up with that towards the end and the third act. At the beginning, it's hardcore, heavy-hitting stuff, but then there are scenes where they cut away from the violence and you get the after effect, which I didn't like, but then towards the end you get that John Wick flare of action, and I really would have preferred that throughout the entire thing. So it just felt a little unbalanced. It felt like there were two different directors directing this thing. It's like one person wanted some Training Day, realistic, hardcore, emotional drama violence, while the other person wanted some corny, kind of gritty, cheesy TV show kind of stuff, and it just didn't mesh well. I felt like two different directors directed this thing, and I really didn't. It kind of threw me off, but it's just a minor thing. Overall, I really enjoyed the action in here, especially towards the end of the movie. Overall, I will give Peppermint an A-. Surprisingly, I give this movie an A- because I did see this movie with my girlfriend. She and I had a conversation about it. At first, I really didn't like the movie. I wanted to give it like a B- or something like that. But she did explain some things to me that made me rethink the movie, and I said to myself, you know, that's an interesting point that you bring up. Overall, I like the revenge aspect of it. I enjoyed Jennifer Garner's performance. I felt the emotion. I felt the depth. The action in here was heavy hitting and hardcore towards the end and a little bit at the beginning. And the only problems I had were the screen editing effect here. Some parts of the movie felt a bit jarring, and I just wish there were more depth with the main family that Jennifer Garner had in this movie, the people who she was getting revenge for. I wish there was more depth with that. And that's pretty much it. I mean, overall, I enjoyed the experience that I had with this movie. So just a couple of minor tweaks and it could have been an A. So I didn't hate this movie. I didn't love this movie. I thought it was pretty good. I'd probably watch it again. I don't know. It was pretty good. It was pretty good. Just a few things they could have fixed. Anyways, that's all I have to say. So as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.